Hey there guys, this video is just a brief announcement, mostly because, people from my channel usually know that when Clash of Wills has been coming out for the past 4 or 5 months, I'll usually live stream the first day my attempts, and then, win or not, I'll do a live stream, and it's fun to hang out with, the community, talk while I learn the boss, etc. But this time I'm not going to be doing that, so I figured I'd just let people know in an announcement video. That way you're not just hanging around waiting for the live stream to start tomorrow when the servers finish maintenance. And as far as the reasoning, it's mostly because I'm just so disappointed in the global design team. It really feels like they are just trying to run the game into the ground with their terrible designs lately, with their unit designs I'm talking about, and it's to the point where it's making it just not even fun to bother anymore. And if trying to live stream when I'm just not enjoying myself wouldn't be fun for anyone. It wouldn't be fun for me. It definitely wouldn't be fun for the viewers, because I wouldn't be in a good mood, because yeah, the global design team has just really gone off the rails. And we'll go over it in a this video briefly just for fun. But yeah, so just to let you know, I'm not going to live stream Clash of Wills tomorrow. At some point, I will upload a video of my clear. I'm still going to do it and all. I'm just not really having fun enough to go with a live stream and all that. So we've got the new unit Lunar Festival Cleome. And let's take a look at her kit, and let's compare her to a unit that came out basically a year ago. 12 months ago, we had Roberta and Ignitas. So a year-old unit. Let's compare her to the brand new limited unit. So we've got Lunar Festival Cleome. She's a Katana Mage. She's got a triple cast for some morale chains. These are 400x times 2, so each cast is 800. She has a triple cast, so it's a 2400x modifier. We can look at Roberta. She's got permanent triple, and she can unlock quad cast. And just to let you know, she's got some mod boost, but Roberta quad cast a grand total of 4,360 modifier. Lunar Cleome quad or triple cast a 2,400 total modifier. So she got about half the modifier of her turn-by-turn damage as opposed to a unit from a year ago. So 2,400, 4,360 a year ago. 4,360, 2,400. That's just the turn-by-turn chaining. That's not Cleome's highest burst. That's just the, after you burst, you've got some chaining. So there you go, some chaining. Now, we've got some fire support on Cleome's kit. So Cleome has a 130 fire in peril. Roberta has a 135 in peril. So after a year, the imperil has gotten weaker. Okay, so Cleome imbues herself, and then after a few turns of delay, you've got to wait a while. After a few turns, she will amplify the party. Not imbue, amplify the party. Roberta, on demand, imbues everyone and amplifies everyone for 45%. Everyone. Cannot be dispelled, the amplify on Roberta. On Cleome, the amplify can't be dispelled for the party. Now, it can be dispelled on Cleome herself. So if the boss is dispelling your amplify, for one thing, it's just gone on Cleome, because hers can be dispelled. Thankfully, 2 turns later, the party's amplify will still be there with Cleome. Or Roberta could just recast it. Actually, Roberta's is just flat out undispellable, period. It will never be dispelled because it can't be, including Roberta herself. For some reason, Cleome's personal amp is dispellable. Not sure why. 2 turns later. And it's a cooldown, so she can't even recast it, including the imbue for herself. Now, Cleome does have an imbue on a different skill. She can imbue with Infarega and amplify, so she can amplify herself for 35% and AoE imbue. So she does have it, it's just on different skills. So there we go. And then Roberta has a stat buff, Cleome has none for that skill. So let's continue going through Cleome's skills. So then we have some self-only amplifies of 45%, only for herself, and some imbues to herself only. Roberta has AoE 45 to other elements as well. Ice and lightning, AoE 45 for the entire party, including herself, cannot be dispelled. Cleome's can be dispelled, and they're only for herself. Now, she does imbue herself. Roberta does not imbue ice and lightning to herself. So let's keep it fair in the comparisons. Then we've got a 150 amplify to Cleome herself only. Roberta does not have a 150 amplify. Of course, Roberta is a year ago, and they didn't exist back then. So, there is a 150 amp on Cleome. Cleome has on her base form a 20% weapon in peril. Roberta on her base form has a 30% weapon in peril, along with 300 LB damage and 350 stat buff for the entire party. Cleome is 250 for herself only, just for herself and only for that turn. And then, of course, it is on the LB, so it's on every LB. Let's keep it fair. It's on every LB, but 250 only for herself, 300 the entire party, and it can't be dispelled for 5 turns. Yep. And then she does have a 30 in peril on the other form. Let's go to her other. Her other form is actually a little more filled. So the other form does have a 30 katana in peril with self-only rolling amplify up to 100% with some mod boost. We'll get into the mod boost in a minute. So there we go. So let's continue going through the kit. There is a little bit more on Cleome in the shift form. So here's the self-only 150 amplify. Then she has Magnus abilities. These are a Magnus. So AoE 100 killer to 2 races to the party. Magnus, 1 time in the entire fight. They are dispellable. So when they get dispelled, they're just gone. Gone, not coming back. 130 after a turn. And then after 2 turns, they go to 160 to 2 killers. Or we could go to Roberta. Roberta has 4 different races at 150 on demand for 5 turns. She can use them as much as she wants, whenever she wants, on demand. 4 different races, 150 right out the gate. So why have we gone so far backwards that we are now at a Magnus delayed activation after 2 extra turns, a 1-time only dispellable 160. Now it is 160, so it is 10% higher than Roberta. But we've got so many units these days with 160 killers that are on cooldowns or higher on demand, stuff like that. So yeah. And then we have some resistance, fire, ice, and dark, 1 time only, and then it is gone forever. Roberta, we can go over here. We've got 120 for 5 turns on a cooldown. So this is full uptime on a cooldown. It is dispellable, and these are dispellable as well, so but 120 to 3 on a cooldown. It comes back. It has a 10,000 point barrier as well, and this also cures all your imperils. This, just resistance. And then we have racial mitigation of 60% for 4 turns, 1 time in the fight, to 2 races. Roberta, we've got 30% permanent, no cooldown, recast it as many times as you want for the whole party to 4 different races. Yeah. And then we've kind of run out of kit. Oh, no, we have fire resist. Okay, so we do have a 200 fire resist with some very low mitigations and a little bit of LB fill. Roberta has a bunch of LB fill. So she can do 40 from her cooldown. And I don't remember if Roberta actually does. I know Roberta has more LB fill on the other cooldown. Where is it? That might be self-only, though. I don't remember. Where is it? Oh, that one's self-only. Okay, so Roberta's LB fill is just 40 times 2 to the party on a Magnus. And this can be chain cast 3 times a turn at a maximum. 30 a turn if you spend all her turn doing that. And then the damage. Cleome does have the burst, which after 4 turns of setup, you'll get the full modifier. And then her base form burst would be the base form LB of 395 in Clash, 225 outside of Clash, plus 90 from all the mod boost, and then if you're using Cool Smile, plus 50 additional. So Cleome definitely burst harder than Roberta, no question. She is a year newer, but this kit is so bad compared to Roberta from a year ago. Roberta's a tag chainer. Roberta has long chains. Roberta does more. And Roberta does a lot more, by the way. So Roberta has, she can dispel the party. She can dispel enemies. She can heal. She can refill MP. She can, they both fill morale gauge. That's pretty equal. Roberta can remove all debuffs with either Magnus's, or Roberta can do it by spamming her shifted LB. Remove all debuffs, stat buffs from the party. MP, more LB fill for the party with Roberta's shifted LB. Roberta can buff the party's modifiers. Roberta can do accuracy. I think that's for herself only, so forget that. Roberta can do Mirage for the party. Roberta can do stat buffs. Roberta can do fill rate. So why is a unit, a limited unit from a year later, so inferior to Roberta from the previous year? She's basically worse in every single possible way, except for the fact that she does do more damage because she's a newer unit. She came out a year later, so the DPS power creep is pretty steady. So yes, she does do a lot more damage than Roberta because she's a year newer. But this unit, and compared to the unit design, is so freaking bad compared to Roberta from so long ago that I think it's going to probably be my first time ever skipping a Clash of Wills unit. And if that means I can't clear the Clash of Wills, then I just won't do Clash of Wills anymore. Like, whatever. But I cannot get behind the unit design going so far downhill. I posted a big thing on Reddit. I might have already mentioned that I posted a big thing on Reddit where it was discussed. It was pointed out how the global team is getting so much worse lately in terms of unit design. And this is like the peak of just straight up trolling their players and bad design. And it's really turning me off to the game. I got to be completely honest here. I am not enjoying the way my favorite part of Global was the units. For the last multiple years, I have loved and I was hyped and looked forward to the unit per month. We had duds every now and then, like Frievia was not great. Maeve hasn't turned out great. We've had duds. Tiana didn't turn out great. So we've definitely had some downhills. But when the past 6 months have been very clearly just been getting worse and worse and worse in terms of unit kit. I don't mean their damage. I mean in terms of unit kit. The kits are getting so much worse on Global, and that is not a good thing in my opinion. So I will upload a Clash of Wills video at some point tomorrow when the servers come up. But I'm just not really feeling happy and excited to celebrate with people as we work out Clash of Wills. So I'm just going to kill it, upload a video, and I'll see you guys for that video when it's done. See you then.